Well, good afternoon from the magnificent Mark's channel. A little later than expected, but work has been hectic, so sorry I am doing this on a match day. Now, it's, as I said, it is match day. It's Newcastle United v Liverpool tonight at St James's Park. It's 7:30 kickoff before everyone forgets, because I nearly did. I thought it was an 8 PM kickoff for a moment. Now, we are just here on the banks of the Tyne, just as I am on a break from work. Now, what I just want to cover before I get started is, I understand my last video was 38 minutes long, so it wasn't meant to be that long, but I did go off on a bit of a tangent and a little bit of a rant. But the Crystal Palace match, it was frustrating, allied to the last 35 minutes of the West Ham game, so I did have a bit to say. But yeah, I'm new, I'm learning. That I'll learn from that in future, any mistakes, and a long video. So let's get going. Right, anyway, so yeah, tonight's match with Liverpool. Now, we'll go off some of Eddie Howe's press conference yesterday, some of the questions he was asked. Now, question was put to him, saying, does he feel like he's been backed enough? Has he had enough reinforcements come in to help him out? And his response was, well, he all feels it's went a bit stale. Now, that could mean a number of things. Does it mean that he feels the current squads went stale, the transfer windows are being stale, performances have been a bit stale? Well, yeah, you could put a tick in all of them boxes. But yeah, I can understand this. Now, I've been critical of him, especially the latter part, the West Ham game and most of the Crystal Palace game. Well, all of the Crystal Palace game, in fact. But that said, yeah, I'm not in the Eddie Howe camp out yet, but because there is mitigation. Look at it this way. He hasn't had backing in the last 2 transfer windows. I can't understand that. He's wanted players in. He hasn't got them. I mean, yes, he got Sula. He's had Vlachodimos, which was basically a counterweight to send Elliot Anderson for PSR reasons to Nottingham Forest. And who else have we got in? Lloyd Kelly hasn't really pulled up many trees despite him trying his best efforts. So yeah, I can understand that perspective, and it is a cry for help, because the squad has went stale. Yeah, I know he wants new players, and everyone wants new players, and we're all in that boat, not just whether it's journalists, whether it's the manager, the players themselves, supporters. Everyone likes to see fresh faces, we all do, and that's what we're expecting, because obviously we do have the richest owners, but we're not the richest club, and that's due to PSR reasons. And we don't need to go into them, but fact to fact, that's why we haven't signed anyone, and to balance that out, which we all didn't like, although we didn't get to see him. We did lose Yankuba Minter to Brighton and Hove Albion, and obviously Elliot Anderson went the other way to Vlachodimos to Nottingham Forest. So we are missing players in key positions, because I think Anderson could have been that player who unlocked teams when they've been sitting off with in a low block this season. So that's been a frustration. And the big problem, right wing. Now, we haven't had that right winger, have we? And we can tell that this season, which has been a frustration of a lot of the squad. We've tried lots of different players there. We've tried Harvey Barnes. We've tried Anthony Gordon. We've tried Joe Linton. Christ, I'm trying to think if we've played anyone else there. I think everyone's played right wing at some point. But yeah, selling Yankuba Minter to Brighton was a big glaring error for us. But it had to be done. It was a necessity. You can't get round it. You'd rather balance the books than take a points deduction. That's just the PSR world we live in. Now, I do feel that he does need help. Of course, we want fresh faces. But at the minute though, well, all the noises coming out the club are that we're not going to sign anyone in January. Well, we know it's a tough window. Look, we know this. When it's the middle of the season, clubs are reluctant to release good players, and it's very hard to find anyone to make a deal within those 30 days, or the 31 days, however you want to put it. But within the PSR constraints, that's the world we are in, as I've said. And yes, we did have the 55 million or 60, whatever we're willing to go to for Mark Gahey, but we didn't. And again, everyone's like, did he put all these eggs in one basket and should have went for other positions? My personal opinion, this is just mine. Everyone might be different, but he did. Could have went for different players. But no, he concentrated everything on just signing him from Palace, and Steve Parish took me for a ride. So yeah, that was that. So if we can't sign, as the club is saying, in January, any more players, well, they do need to get creative. Now, there's the loan market. Been discussing this at work this morning. You do go for loans. There's got to be players out there. Come on, you're telling me a Premier League football club with so many scouts can't scour not just the English League or the lower leagues here, but you've got all of Europe, South America. You can't tell me we don't have scouts out there who can go looking for a right winger to fill that problem position. Now, I know we're having got a pacey right centre back, and that's why we are getting caught out at the minute if we do press, because we haven't got that gap in between the midfield and the defence. So that means we're defensive line sitting deeper. So yeah, if we're not going for, I don't think we need a right centre back yet. We can live with that, in my opinion, till the end of the window. But a right winger is what we're crying out for, because with defence, Botman's coming back in January, and we'll have Lascelles, and I think they'll be able deputies, and they'll fill the gaps until the summer window. But yeah, if PSR is a problem, which we're all being told it is, then go for the loan market. Like, why can't we just approach a player or a club? If he's with a club, yeah, do a loan deal, offer to buy him permanently. Go to a club who might be in financial issues. Like, heard, is it Ryan Cherky, I believe his name is, at Lyon? Looked at him a couple of times online. Yeah, I know it can just be compilation videos. Anyone can put them together. But why not go to a club who are in financial issues and sign someone like that? Or a player who's out of contract. I know it all goes towards PSR, but could be a signing on fee. Give them some wages. Say it's just till the end of the season. If you perform, there'll be scope to sign you. If not, you've got a chance to put yourself in the shop window for 6 months, play for a big club in front of a sellout crowd every week, and just make your case. I don't see why we can't do that for any player who might be unattached. But like I said, even if there's a player at a club, there's got to be someone available. And in my opinion, it might be abroad, because, you know, Newcastle, despite not being able to spend for PSR reasons, we are taken for a ride with the Newcastle tax and the English tax. And that doesn't mean they're an English player, just, I mean, because they're in the English Premier League or AFL, more so the Premier League though. So yeah, we do need to get creative if Eddie's to be backed, because like anything, when you're at work or in life, well, what's the definition of insanity? You keep doing something over and over and over again, hoping for different results. That's what Einstein said, and that's what it feels like at the moment. This squad have done remarkably well since Eddie come in, and where they've took we to Champions League, albeit yes, I know I caught some teams on the hop when they weren't performing, so we capitalised on it, like Liverpool and like Spurs. And yes, we might have overachieved, and that might be setting slightly high expectations, although I do feel our squad at the moment is around top 6 to 8. It's not Champions League material, but they have performed to the maximum, and last season even get 7th with the injury crisis we had was nothing short of remarkable. But it's like in life or in any job, you keep giving your maximum, and at one point you will hit a wall, and that's what it feels like at the moment. They have hit a wall or a ceiling, whatever you want to call it, and he's drained every last drip out of them, whether that's Miggy Almiron, Jacob Murphy, like the fringe players, not the big hitters. But yeah, he's done what he does, and that's coaching them to the maximum. But yeah, he can't get any more out of players like Miguel Almiron or Jacob Murphy. He's done it for an extent with Longstaff with that unbeaten run. But again, these are players you'd normally look at when it comes to a window and saying, could we move a Longstaff, a Wilson with his injury record, a Murphy, a Miggy, a Dubravka, because I don't think he's a number 2. Like his course is sailed with us. And who else? Oh yeah, Kieran Trippier. But Kieran Trippier wouldn't be one who I'd get rid of at the moment. Kieran Trippier would be someone, which I'll come to, it'd be who I'd bring in tonight. Because in all honesty, well, I've badly missed his experience. But I will come to that. in terms of Kieran Trippier, and obviously injury news that's coming that we've heard about Alexander Isak and any other players, but mainly it will just be see where Trippier's at, Wilson's at, where Isak's at, because we'll hope he's playing tonight. Now, another thing that he has been asked is playing players out of position. Now, I know Eddie said that if you're on the pitch, you've just got to do a job for the team. That's true. Yeah, if you're on the pitch, that's great. You want to be playing, but while I know the whole collective and mindset should be for the team, as a player, I do think you have the right to go to the manager and say to him, well, if the team's not performing, which we aren't at the moment, can't I play in my favourite position? Now, Anthony Gordon, I feel, has every right to do that, and I expect him to be left wing tonight. Because, again, yeah, performances aren't good, there isn't the confidence. Now, that could be a number of reasons. Could be the board of 4-3-3, a lot of what are. Like I said, the gap between the midfield and defence, we haven't signed a number 6. We haven't got a number 10 to unlock teams. And I've said, call for a formation change, so it could be the formation. It could be that the players have give every last ounce they had lately. There could be disillusion with the manager tactics. You just don't know. But in these circumstances, especially against a team like Liverpool tonight, you need to just knuckle down. You need to batten down the hatches and remember why you're a Premier League player and why you're in the position you are. A privileged position, which all we would like to be if we had the talent. So that's what needs to happen. So yeah, we've got to find solutions. The players need to drag themselves out. It's not just on Eddie, but Eddie's tactics are questionable. And in his press conference yesterday, it's the most down, forlorn I think he's ever looked. Look, he did say that he's aware of the outside noise. He understands it. He knows it comes with the territory. And us fans, look, we might complain, we might moan, we might be happy 1 minute, we mightn't be the next, but isn't all fan bases like that? But I know as ours, especially as Toon fans, we are emotional, we do love our club, we hang off every last word of the manager, any news story, we just love our club, but it's just a need and a want for what to do well. Like we said, we can accept defeats, but in the last game and a half, it's been the manner of them defeats. So I feel the players have got a responsibility on themselves, because if some of them do want away, it's understandable. If they've been sold a dream, or they've said all these players are coming in, Newcastle are going in this direction, even though it might take 5 years or 10 years, they might be thinking, well, this hasn't happened, but yes, but you're still there, you still say you're a top player, so it's on them, in my opinion, to show why the top players. Go out there tonight, give Liverpool a game, you might lose, but put in the performance of your lives for the badge, for the city, for yourselves, most importantly, and just attack. Like Eddie said, go for it, attack. That's all we can do. Yes, defence is the best at the moment in terms of the team, but we can't just rely on defence. We've got to attack. We're an attack-minded club, always have been. I know we've had the Ashley years, but we are. So I just feel the players need to take some responsibility for themselves, go out there, and if they want to be in the shop window, prove it against the current best team in the world, because we all know tonight we're expecting a defeat, even though the heart says I think Newcastle will get something. We know Liverpool are good, they've got quality, so it's time for some players to step up tonight and show why they're top players. Now, do I expect that to happen? Yes. I do expect Bruno Guimaraes, Alexander Isak, Anthony Gordon to all just put in the performance of their lives. Tonali's been the standout out of the 4 top quality players at the moment, but they're all internationals. Show why you're internationals. Now, I'll go on to tonight's game before I wrap this up. Do I expect it to be a 4-3-3? I do. Eddie won't change it. We know he's stubborn. That's how he is. But he's got this December period, because I know a lot of the fan base are turning. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not saying I've got gripes against him. I'm not saying he hasn't annoyed us. He has. Saying we played well at Palace, we didn't. Saying we're good in the first 2/3. Well, yeah, but it was all passive and sideways in front of their defence, with no penetration behind. When Tonali did have it, no one was there to do anything. So, yes, I do expect it to be a 4-3-3. Now, as I said, if this was my team, although Tino has got the pace and he is up against a player possibly like Luis Diaz, I'd want it to be Pope, Trippier, just for his passing range, his set pieces, his quality, his leadership. Then it'd be Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Lewis Hall. Now, midfield three, I would play Sandro Tonali. I'd keep Bruno Guimaraes in there and Joe Willock. Give him a chance. I know Willock was poor against West Ham and didn't do anything really at Palace, but I'd keep that three. Then a front three, I'd surprise Liverpool. Although I've said before, Slot is a clever manager. He'll expect any formation or any players. I do think he has more than a plan A, which you can't say for Eddie at the moment. Again, it's just, yeah, it might be a criticism, but you're allowed to do constructive criticism. We don't think he's got a plan B. We've seen that, and that's what we're all frustrated with. You've got to change it up. So yeah, I'd put Miggy in there, right wing. Alexander Isak through the middle, because he can cause problems. He showed he's good against Van Dijk in his previous games against him, who even got sent off here last season. And then I'd keep Anthony Gordon left wing to attack Trent Alexander-Arnold, who, although he's a brilliant passer, excellent technician, free kicks, he's not a good defender. So that would be my team. Now, if it was my hope, it would be a 4-2-3-1. It would be Pope, Trippier, Shaw, Burn, Hall, and then it would be a midfield of Sandro Tonali and one of Lewis Miley, or Joe Willock in the pivot. Bruno Guimaraes would be number 8, and then it would be Miggy Almiron right wing, Anthony Gordon left, and Alexander Isak in the centre. I don't think Joe Linton's done enough to keep his place. And if Miggy's going to be sold in the window, he hasn't played. So if we want to try and bump his value up after his contract extension, what better time than play him the night, and he can show that he's good enough for other clubs. But I do expect it to be a 4-3-3. Now, just on Isak, we've heard that it was an impact injury to his hip, but he did come back and say that he is fit. I know Eddie Howe erred on the side of caution, but you know what Eddie Howe's press conferences are like. So do expect Isak to lead the line tonight. And then, unlike the weekend, Callum Wilson will come on earlier than expected because he should have trained. Again, that frustrated us that Eddie went. We didn't have an attacking option off the bench when he didn't want to risk Wilson any earlier. Understandable, but we did have Will Asula. He must be thinking what he needs to do to get a game. I mean, we've signed him, play him. He's raw, but there's no problem when he's that young to sub a sub if it's not working. So yeah, I expect Isak to lead the line tonight. But I'd like to see Kieran Trippier back. As I said, aforementioned reasons. His passing range, his set pieces. And again, if Trippier's the one who is attacking, I know the defence is at risk sometimes, but if Trippier's the one who's attacking, well, why don't they just take turns on who attacks? So if Trippier attacks, Lewis Hall stays back and they drop into a back three. Then you offer that bit more protection to Burn and Shaw. If he's not, and he stays back, Lewis Hall can attack. So Trippier can offer protection or Lewis Hall. But yeah, that's my thoughts anyway. So going to wrap it up now. St. James's Park under the lights. There's no better place, no better occasion. And War Flags is display. I know Keegan's not in attendance now after we heard Pete Graves released it. It's a shame, but we just hope King Kev's all right. And I, for one, cannot wait to see War Flags' display. I think it'll be excellent as always. But now, don't call the men in white suits as well. My prediction: Head says Liverpool will win 2 or 3-1. I think we'll score, but their quality, obviously, we've got to be careful of Mohamed Salah. That's why I think Trippier, I'd prefers the one going forward and Lewis Hall staying back so he can keep an eye on Salah on the transitions. But I'm going with my heart. I want Newcastle need to bounce back, and they normally always perform against the big teams. So I'm going, don't send us to a psychiatric ward, but I am going Newcastle United 2, Liverpool 1, and the goal scorers will be Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon. But anyway, I'm going to wrap that up now. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for bearing with us. If you watched the last video, it was a bit lengthy, and thank you if you've watched this one. I know it's a bit too close to match day, but I still wanted to do one. It's just when you've got your full-time job, you can't just park that aside. So I wanted to do this on my lunch break. So again, thank you for anyone who's watching. Keep following us on X, @LaneHusband1, the Magnificent Mags channel on Facebook. I'm on Blue Sky, lhusband87.bluesky.social, and I'm also on the Magnificent Mags YouTube channel @MagnificentMags1. If you like the content, like, share, and on YouTube, click the follow button. And if you do really like it, please subscribe. And anyway, thank you very much for now. And if you've been watching, have a good rest of your day. And aware the lads tonight, aware. If you're at the game, enjoy it. If you're watching at home, just back the lads, park any feelings aside, roll them on to victory. Aware!